How's it going, guys? So yesterday I completed, what's this, 4.6 exercise on Python for everybody. And I just wanted to reset it today and come back and attempt it again and see if I retain that knowledge and hopefully can either provide a solution for you or you can just kind of learn from what I've done. So to start off, just a little bit of an explanation. We're taking 45 hours and we're going to break that up into two segments where 40 hours is multiplied by the regular rate and the remainder is multiplied by a overtime rate of 1.5%. So let's go ahead and get into that. First I'm going to change this into a float number by wrapping float around that. Got to make the rate is equal to, screwed up, float input, enter rate, and double parentheses. Alright, before we move much further, I want to put hours into the H of compute pay and rate into the R of compute pay. So let's do that. Hours. So this place within the parentheses is taking the place of that same location, even though it's a different character, could be a number, anything like that. It's just assigning what we're putting in here into the definition of compute pay. So rate goes in R. Alright, so the lower portion should be all completely set and ready to go. So now we want to start with some logic of how we're going to do that. So we need to we're going to use an if-else statement. So let's do, no, we're not going to start that yet. We're going to do base pay is equal to 40, because anything above 40, I don't think this is like the perfect way to do it, but it worked for me. It's base pay is hours by rate. So hours times R. So we're only using 40 because that's when the if statement will kick in. So overtime pay is equal to, what is it? It'd be H minus 40, and then we want to multiply that by rate, blanking here, rate times 1.5, because we want to increase the rate by 50%. Okay, that should be all set. We have to put an if statement in here. Ignore the return for now. That's going to be assigned to something else. Well, it's going to be used, but not the way it is right now. If OTP is greater than 0, which just means, so the computer is going to come in, it's going to read this line, it's going to read that line, and assign everything that's on the right side of the parentheses into that variable BP as well as OTP. If OTP is 0, meaning if we only put 40 hours in, H, which is 40 minus 40, would be 0, and when you multiply 0 by the rate, it's going to come out to 0. So if it's, you could, I guess, use an equals there, and that would also work. In fact, let's see what happens when we do that. If OTP equals 0, okay, I think that'll work. Let's just see if that'll work. If that's true, we gotta tab this out, and we always have to finish if statements and while loops and everything with that colon. We're going to return, it kind of uses just like a print statement. Um, I'm not exactly sure why yet, but I'm sure I'll figure that out in the future. If OTP equals 0, okay, so we just need to essentially sum up BP plus OTP. And right now we could run the code and get the correct output, but I did this yesterday, and you actually have to have the else statement in there. So else return, and this is just going to be the regular H times R. And I think that's it. Let's run it. So syntax on line 4. Why am I getting syntax spacing wrong? Oop. Maybe that won't work. Let's try that. Alright. Good to know that. 10.5. And it's a pass. We printed out pay equals 49.8 or 49.8.75. Jeez, I guess I'm not awake yet. Alright, if you enjoyed this, then please subscribe, like, share, whatever. And I'll probably keep doing these. I think doing this definitely solidifies it in your brain when I'm kind of going through the steps and explaining it, which I kind of started a blog to do that same thing, but I figured, hey, why not try it in video format as well? So go ahead and head over to my blog. It's kind of going week by week through my progress, and hopefully by the end of the year, maybe I'll be able to do something worthwhile. Thanks again.